Yo guys, welcome to a different type of video, I would say, from what I usually do. But as you guys know, I am on vacation right now, so thought I'd give you guys some content instead of nothing at all. So here we have a tier list of quite a few mechanics, if I do say so myself. And we are going to rank these mechanics on this tier list based off of how generally good they are. We can maybe think about how well they fare in ones, twos, and threes, but generally just how good they are in general. So, yep, let's jump straight in. We have 50/50s. In my opinion, I think 50/50s is definitely an S tier, definitely a game changing mechanic if you are able to make a 50/50 consistently into a 60/40 or 70/30 due to how you position your car in the 50/50. You're going to win a lot of the second ball, regardless of, well, this is more specifically for twos and threes. I guess in ones definitely works too. If you can win the 50, you can definitely take it past the opponent and usually have an empty net depending on how well you win the 50. So 50/50 is definitely S tier for me. Air dribble bump. Um, I think I do want to give it S tier, but I think at the top level, I'm talking about top 100 pros, they are starting to become pretty good at dodging air dribble bumps, but I think it's still a very low risk, high reward mechanic. I'm not gonna when I put them on S tier, I'm not gonna order them in the S tier. I'll just put them into whether I think they are S, A, B, C, or D. I'm not gonna like say, oh, air dribble bump is better than 50/50s. I'm just gonna just chuck them into S tier. I think for now, S tier definitely for air dribble bump. I think in twos, threes, no matter what, it's just too overpowered, very difficult to dodge. And even if you do dodge it, you can still recover quite easily off of it. So yeah. Air dribbling. Um I mean, it's air dribbling can be quite easy to stop, I think, especially towards the champ. Well, maybe high champ into the GC range. I would say it's quite easy to stop, especially if you play backboard. If you're grounded, definitely a lot harder to stop. B tier, I'll give it A tier for now. Air roll, I don't know if this is there any directional air roll? Is it free air roll or just air roll in general? It looks like it's just air roll in general. Okay, I don't use free air roll. I use directional air roll, so I'm not too sure. I'll just base it off of directional air roll. I would say A tier. Some of you guys might be surprised I didn't put it as S tier. The only reason is because oftentimes you can get into the habit of over air rolling, and it can actually make your touches and your control on the ball a lot worse than if you were just to not air roll at all. Well, especially your efficiency too. So definitely A tier, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be S tier. If you guys disagree, then please let me know. The Aztral Pinch, I think is that the one? I could be wrong. Is that the one off the ceiling? No, that's a ceiling pinch though, isn't it? Oh yeah, there's one ceiling pinch off there. I can't remember what Astral Pinch is. I'm not too sure. Anyway, Astral Pinch, pinches in general. I'll just put it in B tier because I'm not too familiar with the Astral Pinch. So you guys might have to let me know about that one. Backboard play, 100% S tier, one of the best forms of defending. Yeah, I mean, there isn't really much to say about that. If you can play backboard and you know when to play backboard to get, as I mentioned in many of my videos, if you can get onto the same level of height, then that is going to be an easy way for you to stop a lot of attempts on net. Camera control, I'm assuming this is wiggling your camera around. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's important. I mean, at the lower ranks, it's not the be all end all if you don't move your camera around. At the higher ranks, it's definitely much more important. Is it A rank? Um, will be. I'll put it in A for now. Car control, S tier. I mean, I don't think there's really much to explain on that one. This car control is what it is, right? Without car control, you won't be able to do a lot of the stuff that we tend to do in games. So yeah, ceiling challenge, definitely underrated. I would say it's a lot more common in twos and threes. Definitely, if you're brave enough to do it in ones, you do see it in top level play. At lower ranks, you don't really see too many ceiling challenges because they can be quite difficult to pull off from time to time. I do think they are underrated, but I don't think they will be S tier. Um, I'm not sure. I'm tempted to give it A. 'Cause I do think it's underrated. I will. Looks like I'm giving a lot of S's and A's at the moment, but you know. All right, ceiling pinch. Ceiling pinches is definitely an underrated mechanic. There's two issues I think with ceiling pinches is that one, consistency with pinches in general. It's very difficult to get a consistent pinch every single attempt. And two is that if it doesn't go on target, then you've essentially conceded possession of the ball completely. So I'm gonna give it a B. I do think it can be underrated though. In some situations, it can be quite a good alternative thing to do, since no one really expects you to do a ceiling pinch when you go up the wall. So that could be something worthwhile, but I'm not too sure about ceiling pinches. I'll give it a B for now. Ceiling shots. Okay, this is one of the most underrated shots you can do. Um, Ceiling shots. Tempted to give it S. Um, I'll give it a top of A. I know I said I wasn't going to rank the actual ranks themselves, but I feel like I need to give it top of A. The reason why I'm not going to give it S is simply because I do feel like ceiling shots tend to take a bit of time to set up and to go for. And once you go up the ceiling, whether you jump the ceiling or just drive up to the ceiling, your intentions definitely become a lot more obvious. So if you have a ceiling, sorry, not ceiling. If you have a face man in twos, for example, who was going to challenge, then they can also jump up the ceiling or they can kind of jump off the wall and challenge you quite quickly. If you are in ones, I think ceiling shots is definitely S tier because you have a lot more time. Or if you're in twos and there's only one guy back, ceiling shots is definitely more powerful. Very tempted to give it. I might even consider giving it the bottom of S, but I'll keep it top of A for now. Ceiling shuffle. No idea what that is. Is that like the ceiling wave dash? It could be. If I'm wrong, I don't know. Ceiling wave dash. I don't know. I'm just gonna give it a C because I don't think it's that great, but that's mainly based off of my ignorance. So correct me if I'm wrong there. Chain dashes. I think they're good. I'll give it B, but I don't think they are incredibly game changing. They can help you in certain moments, definitely, but I don't think they are like massively helpful. That's just my opinion. So yeah, clears. Clearing the ball. I'm assuming this is like being able to do good defensive booms. I would say 'cause you do give up possession, but I don't think it's always a bad thing to give up possession, especially if your team is under pressure and you need boost. I'll give it A. I'll give clears A. Defensive saves. I mean, this is just vague. I mean, it's just saving the ball. I don't. Okay. I mean, this is obviously important. Otherwise, you will concede. This is a bit of a weird one because this is it feels like it's like saying shooting, um, which is definitely on the list, but it has to be S because it's integral. It's integral to the game, so I don't see anything else. Demo 100% an S. I know some of you might hate demos in the game. Definitely one of the most, if not the most, overpowered mechanic in the game. If you can become a demo menace, but that doesn't mean just chasing people around and trying to bump and demo them. It means being really intelligent with when you do it and how you demo. It could get you so many goals, and it can also help you um, prevent a lot of goals too. Definitely up there. If I could put it in anywhere in S, oh, it would be close from 50. I'd probably put it. Oh, I don't know. I'll probably put it like somewhere here, if I'm being honest. All right, let's keep going. So far, so good. Double flip reset. Double flip reset. I think obviously it's a strong mechanic. Is it absolutely needed to like reach GC or something? No, not necessarily. Uh, Bottom of A, top of B. Let's put it at the bottom of. This is where many of you guys might be thinking, "Oh, that's because you can't double flip reset." Yes, I can, although not consistently, I will admit. But I don't know. I've played with a lot of teammates who can double flip reset consistently, and I don't really see them score off of it too often. I think you have to be really consistent with double flip resets, like maybe like top level pros or Dark or someone like that, where it can become really viable. But it's hard to pull off that consistency, and I am nowhere near that level where I can pull off that consistently. Um, so I'll give it bottom of A, which I think is fine. Double taps, definitely one of the first kind of high level mechanics that you start to learn once you reach diamond, maybe low champ. I think double taps definitely underrated. Not that difficult to do, and very rewarding if you are consistent with it. I'll probably put it up there with like air dribbling and ceiling shots and stuff like that. Closer to the top of it. All right, so it looks like I am kind of organizing the ranks, but I'll just do that as I go along. Fast aerials, yep, has to be an S tier mechanic. Without fast aerials, you're just going to be slow to every single ball in the air for the most part, especially as you climb the ranks. It's a core mechanic, and um, if you don't have the core mechanic, then it's going to be a problem. All right, so let's continue. The Lix reset. I've tried to practice the Lix reset for a little while now, and I think it's really useful, but just so hard to master. Um, I'm gonna give it a B. I think the potential is definitely there, but it's so difficult to get consistent with. So I'll put it there for now, and if it starts to become a lot more, well, let's say a lot easier to use, then it could definitely go up the ranks for now. Flicks, S tier. I think again, just so overpowered, especially if you can become really good at doing those 45-degree flicks, then they can do so much damage for how little effort they are compared to a lot more advanced mechanics. So flicks definitely give it S tier. Um, I'm not really ranking it right now in terms of where it should be, but definitely a high level mechanic and one of the first, I would say, one of the first few mechanic you start to learn as you start to go through platinum and diamond and so on. Flip cancels at the low ranks, not really needed. Towards, I would say, probably even high, maybe even low GC, not even high champ. They start to become a bit more helpful whenever you need that kind of margin to make the difference in a game. And it's kind of like the gateway to start learning a lot more advanced mechanics. So um, I'm gonna just put it top of B for now. Flip resets. Okay, the mechanic that everyone wants to learn. Flip resets. Again, similar to flip cancels, not that needed at lower ranks. Higher ranks, definitely. Towards the high champ, you can kind of separate yourself mechanically from the others. Be a lot more unpredictable. Let's put it. like somewhere here, just right in the middle of A. Ground dribbles, I think needs to be S. I think this also only because if you can have good ground dribbles, and naturally your flicks will also be really good. You can't really have S tier flicks and then your ground dribbles are really bad because they go hand in hand. Really, also helps you with bounce dribbles too. So yeah, this include power slide. Is power slide here? Um, Power slide isn't here. Interesting. All right. Ground pinch. I think I'm gonna put it C again, similar to the other ones. I think it's easier to get challenge on a ground pinch compared to a ceiling pinch, um, because the player can just kind of drive before you even pinch it and kind of challenge you and 50 you before you get the pinch off. So yeah, I would say C. Half flips. Um, Half flips I think have to be S. I think it's a core mechanic to help you with recovering a lot more smoothly when you are out of position, for example. So half flips definitely S for me. I'm trying to give you guys can probably see a lot of the core mechanics are starting to become S tier mechanics needed. Kickoffs. This one kind of annoys me a little bit. I know it's time to blame teammates, but I think kickoff is one of the easiest mechanics to learn, like to become good at kickoffs. I don't think they're too difficult. Um, and the reward you get from it is immense. Imagine, guys, the amount of kickoffs you guys have, or the amount of goals you guys have conceded because of a kickoff, right? And a lot of people don't invest time in working on their kickoffs. Um, that would be like if I were to ever do coaching, one of the first things I would crack down on, depending on what, well, it doesn't really matter what rank it is. The first thing would be kickoffs. I would tell all my, potential students that I don't want you to practice any mechanic until you've near enough have a, I wouldn't say perfect kickoff because that's not possible, but you have an extremely good kickoff. Um, so yeah, kickoffs for me, S tier for me. I think it's how the game starts, and you want the game to start really good. So yeah, Kuxir Pinch probably the best type of pinch to do. It's a lot more consistent to do. I want to give it a It's not an A. I don't think it's an A. I'll probably put it. Oh, I don't know. Somewhere here. Probably could be high. Could probably be top of B, but I'm not too fussed about that right now. Mawkzy Flick. I mean, I don't know. I think Mawkzy Flick is a very specific type of mechanic or a specific type of flick. I think if you're just good at flicks in general, it's fine. You don't really need the Mawkzy Flick too much. So let's just put it, I don't know, bottom of B or something, or it could be somewhere in C. Maybe, let's say bottom of B for now. Mawkzy Recovery, definitely think it's an underrated recovery. I don't see many players in GC do it enough. It can definitely help you with hitting the ball, also recovering and chasing the ball in almost immediately after. Definitely an underrated mechanic. So I would give the Mawkzy Recovery. I mean, I love doing the Mawkzy Recovery personally, so I might have some bias for this. Do I think it's A tier? I think it might be. I'll just put a bottom of A tier for now. Multi-flip resets. I'm assuming this is like triple and quads. Where did I put double reset? Here. So multi, put it just like just somewhere here, I think. I mean, I've already explained resets quite a lot, so it's kind of just falls under the same explanation. The Musty Flick, underrated. Well, not really underrated. I'm not going to say underrated because it is rated and people do it quite a lot. Definitely a very useful flick. There are some positions and some angles of your car where no other flick will be able to generate that type of speed and that type of height on the ball without it being the Musty Flick or some sort of variation of the Musty Flick. I'm going to give it an A tier. The question is where. Put it somewhere here. Passing in threes definitely will be S tier. In twos, probably A tier. In ones, obviously not really relevant. So passing in twos, you got to be careful when you pass. If there's two defenders that are back in the defensive setup, I would almost never pass. Yeah, because the first man can just easily intercept the pass and read the pass, and it's very low risk for the defenders. Passing, I would definitely say it's A tier. The question is where. Definitely higher than this. Probably here. I think this is perfect. Pogos, unless you're dark and can do them really consistently. I do like pogos. And ones could be very well super useful. Twos can be kind of useful. Threes, it's just very hard to do pogo. You're just gonna get challenged almost immediately. I want to say top of C. Yeah, I'm gonna put top of C. It's just very hard to pull off. Pre-flips, I think pre-flips underrated too. Can help you reach a ball unexpectedly. I can also get some good goals off of it too. I think B tier. The question is where. Let's put it here. I think this is good. I think this is correct. Psychos, I mean. All right, I'm gonna put Psychos D tier because of just how near impossible. Well, obviously they're not impossible, but near impossible they are to do. I don't. Maybe you can put a. No, I'm gonna put a D. We got to give something D. I mean, if you psycho lovers out there are gonna hate me for it, then it is what it is. But I just think yes, I can't do them. I've never really attempted to. I don't think I will. I think they're just way too difficult, even for high level pros to do it. Very inconsistent. It's just so difficult of a mechanic that I just don't feel that it's just it's necessary. But you could definitely pull it off. And maybe once in a lifetime or two. So yeah, I'm gonna give it D. This is just based off how useful the mechanic is. Recoveries, S tier. I mean, I don't think I need to explain too much for this one, right, guys? I mean, recoveries are just recoveries. Without recoveries, then you're gonna be slow to everything, won't be able to get back, and then just basically suffer in a game that you don't really need to suffer from. All right, almost done, guys. Redirects. Redirects definitely useful, 100%. It's not always possible to get. I mean, it's definitely more prevalent in threes because redirects tend to come from um passing. So it's definitely linked to passing. You can obviously set up a redirect yourself if you hit it off the wall. In twos can definitely happen. Ones obviously not so much. Unless you're kind of passing yourself the ball from the wall. I don't know. Redirects. You don't really see them too often in games when you play a typical game of Rocket League. I definitely think at the higher level, it's definitely a lot more useful to learn. I'll put it bottom of A for now. Shooting, S tier, definitely. Probably the most important mechanic in the entire game. I believe there was a video, I can't remember by who, that I watched a long time ago where they asked many pros if you could master one mechanic, what would it be? And nearly all of them said shooting. If your shooting is and you're able to hit the ball really hard, really accurately, really fast, that is by far the quickest way to rank up easily by far. Just imagine every opportunity you have to shoot, you score 100% of the time. I know that's not going to be possible, but just imagine, right? Every shot you take, no matter what level, right? You could be high SSL, bronze. If every shot you took was just top corner, every shot was top corner, really powerful, really fast, you're just going to rank up almost every time. You'll be able to hit pro level, I think, but obviously it's not possible to have 100% accuracy. So, but if you can kind of get closer to that, shooting is definitely number one. It is why when a lot of low ranks who are around gold to diamond, no, sorry, gold to platinum, they always ask me, what can I do to rank up? And shooting is the quickest way to get from any rank, you anything below diamond to diamond. It doesn't mean that once you reach diamond, you stop doing shooting, but there's obviously a lot more elements to the game that you might need to practice. But shooting, 100% number one. Speed flip, S tier. There's so many people that have not learned how to speed flip. Um, and this includes GCs, the GC2s, especially my rank. There's quite a few who still don't speed flip, and it kind of shocks me. I remember when I first started Rocket League, um, one of the first mechanics I learned when I first started playing the game was speed flipping, and I spent months and months, and it does take a super long time to learn. It really does. And I can see why people give up on it. I really do, because I suffered quite a lot trying to learn it. But now it pays off so much. I win a lot more kickoffs. I just feel a lot quicker around the field. Um, so speed flips definitely S tier. I'm not gonna like rank speed flips right now. I just want to get the rest of these mechanics over and done with. Squishy saves, definitely underrated, definitely helpful, I think. I will just put it top of B. It could be bottom A. Some of you guys might disagree with this one. I don't think they happen too often, but they do happen often enough to be a B. So I think definitely top of B, but it could be bottom of A too. So if you guys want it at bottom of A, that could be possible too. I wouldn't disagree with you there. Stalls is a weird one. Recently, I've been trying to learn stalls and trying to get good at them, because I feel like there is definitely some use for them, especially when your car is falling quicker than the ball. You can obviously use a stall to keep your keep the height of the car similar to the ball, so you don't lose your momentum falling down. I do wish many more players would experiment with stalls more on a not on a fancy freestyle level, but more on a core fundamental level, because I just feel like there's more that can be explored with stalls and very specific scenarios that could be super useful, especially for high ranks. In terms of right now, it would have to be like bottom of C. In terms of potential, it could be a B, maybe an A, depending on how far it goes. Team bumps. I'm assuming, I don't know, team bumps. I think I'm just gonna just treat this as bumps, same as demos. Um, I mean, anything to do with bumps and demoing just has to be S tier. It's the easiest way to create space. So yeah, I would say that. Team pinch. I mean, I think in 2v2, people should go for team pinches a lot more, especially if both have like no boost. But it does give away possession. It's very RNG based. So let's just give it a. In terms of the pinches, Kuxir Pinch, I put it somewhere here. Actually, no, I don't know. I put it somewhere here. Twist flips. I think this is the speed flip cancels, right, guys? I think it's speed flip cancel. Yeah, I mean, at the high level, I would say GC plus definitely starts to become a useful mechanic. I would say, um, A or B. Let me see what we have. We got squishy save, flip cancels, free flips. It's kind of like in here. I would say it's in here. Definitely, if this was like a higher rank, if this was like only GCs, for example, plus, I would definitely put it in A. But because this is meant to be overall, like all Rocket League in general, all ranks, then I'll put it in B for now. Wave Dash, I think S tier. I think just a very easy mechanic that can just get you speed, helps with recoveries. Definitely treat it as one of the core fundamental mechanics that people tend to learn. So yeah. And Zap Dash, quite new. Well, new-ish. People are starting to use it. I use it sometimes, but not as often as I probably should. Zap Dash, I would give an A, probably like somewhere here. I don't know. Some of them, as you guys can see, some of them I ranked up in order, and then some of them not really. A bit inconsistent on that one. So yeah, that is my tier list. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you agree, disagree. What would you change? What would you not change? Yeah, I would like to have a discussion based on this. Obviously, I did this rather quickly, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.